Wikimedia Foundation. Her sponsor organizations that are here, I see Redfin there. It's great to have them here as well. A couple of things just about safety. There are stairs back there should there be an emergency or you need to get outside. That is the way to leave. Sarah Rodlin is a host tonight. She's here in the back. She will be helping Michelle do anything should we need to. Again, we're delighted to host Techtonica and the fine work of Michelle, and we hope you all have a great evening. Watch the Wikimedia Foundation Work With Us page. We have internships and jobs and all sorts of things there. And I'm going to turn this over to Michelle. Thank you for being here, and we're delighted to host. Thank you.
Thanks, Lynette. All right, we have lots of space for sitting down if people want to come forward, but if you really want to stand, you can also do that. Hi, I'm Michelle Glauser. I am the founder and CEO of Techtonica. Yay! This has definitely been a long labor of love, so I am very, very, very appreciative of all of you for supporting us and coming out tonight to celebrate with us. And just a really, really quick announcement. We had these Techtonica stickers for our crowdfunding campaign, and they fell apart really fast. So if you got one of those, then come get a replacement. It has like a nice crafty finish on it now. And then after those people get those, anyone else can have a sticker. Okay? So I'll just put them over here. You can get them sometime during the evening. Okay, so just need the clicker. Here's our schedule. After I talk a little bit, we'll have Erin Allard talk. She's our instructor and amazing. And then, and then we'll have Ditto from Redfin, one of our sponsors, say a few words. And then the students wanted to say hello. One of our students, Tonka, who is amazing, cannot make it tonight, unfortunately, but she's going to try and call in on video. So bear with us as we try to get the tech working on that. And I want to tell a quick story about that, too. Tonka is an amazing networker and has gone to all sorts of things and talked to people about Techtonica. And I've had multiple people ask me, why did you name Techtonica after Tonka? So now we jokingly call her Techtonica at all times. Yeah. Anyway, cool. So welcome to our launch celebration. Hooray! Oh, that looks kind of funky. There I am. I am not actually sure how many people here know the whole story of Techtonica. Can you raise your hand if you know why I started Techtonica? Oh, nice. Okay, I get to tell my story. Okay, so I grew up in a large blue-collar family and always loved computers, was in the computer club at school, but I just didn't know about the career opportunities. And then 5 years ago, I was working in a startup in San Francisco and barely able to pay rent. And I thought, how do those engineers build stuff? That's really cool. I want to learn how to do that. So I Googled how to build a website. And I found what we now know as coding boot camps. I found a brand new one and applied and got in, but I couldn't afford the tuition. So I came up with a very unusual plan with my then boyfriend. I said, let's hurry and get married with a really cheap wedding and ask everyone for money, and that's how we'll pay for it. And it worked. That's how I paid tuition, and we are still together. So attending this coding bootcamp was super, super empowering for me. I tripled my income. I had a job within a month of graduating, and I just watched the tuition triple since then and thought, that's too big of a barrier. We're just offering we're offering this to people who already would have the privilege to attend another bachelor's or something like that. I also saw that our area has a high income disparity and that needed help, and just so many other things. Programs weren't really helpful and welcoming to families, and people needed laptops, and they had to be able to pay rent while they were attending. So I just thought all of that was problematic and wanted to do something about it. Nope, not ready yet. Yeah. So all of these ideas I had just kind of came together, and I kept thinking someone should do that. And then I was like, oh, I'll do it. So I started Techtonica, and we just started with workshops, and now we are a full-time program. Woohoo! Okay, so I guess I'll just give a quick overview of how the program works. Basically, we are a nonprofit, and we partner with tech companies that sponsor the students' training, and that sponsorship covers living stipends for them. And then they do 6 months of training, and it's not just software engineering. We want to make sure that they know about other roles in tech, and that they get some financial literacy training and some other things that will be helpful long term. And if you talk to the students, you'll also find out that they have business cards, and they are handing them out like crazy. They did their first conference yesterday and had a grand old time, getting more swag than I have ever seen anyone get. We can probably make a quilt out of some of those t-shirts. Anyway, yeah, so at the end of the 6 months, the companies have a new employee and the students have a new job, and they work together, and hopefully everything will be great. The tricky thing is these students are so great, they took a really big leap of faith with Techtonica because there are 6 of them, and we have 3-ish, almost 3 sponsors at this point. So we are looking for more companies, and if any of you can put in a good word at your company and have someone connect with me, I will answer all their questions and try to help them sponsor a Techtonica student. So yeah, those are all the basics. Does anyone have any questions? Nope. Great. So next, I wanted to talk about what we've accomplished since our last event. So in April, we had an event we called the Sponsor Info event. And that was basically just to get sponsors to hear more about the program. And that's where I met Ditto, and Ditto ended up getting Redfin involved. So that's great. So since then, we signed up our first sponsor, Pantheon, the day of that event. And then Redfin came shortly thereafter, and we had a promo video there. And then in May, we started learning part-time while the students helped work on Techtonica stuff. Isn't that awesome? And we got a space at Dev Labs in Oakland. So we were there for several weeks and really enjoyed being in Oakland. And then, oh, I guess that's where the Redfin thing comes in. I saw you making that face, Ditto. You're like, oh. Okay. And then this month, we've done so many amazing things. We started at the Armory in San Francisco. Yay. And so many people have asked me, are you like out on the arena floor or something? No, there are offices around the perimeter of the building. So we are in one of those. And we have not made an official announcement about this yet, which is why I said 2, 3. But we have someone who has signed the agreement to be a sponsor, and we just are waiting for their check. Woohoo! So if you watch social media, you'll see who that is when we announce it. As I said, we announced we attended their first conference yesterday, Velocity in San Jose, and we have 2 interns who come every day and help me get stuff done from sf.citi City. They're high school students who are out of school and just ready to do cool stuff. And we have learned so much. We just started with Erin, our instructor, who's going to talk next. and I will let her talk about what we've learned. As far as our supporters, here is a large list. We are always looking for more so we can finish up the whole 6 months. All right.
Thanks, Michelle. Hi, everyone. I'm Erin. Thank you so much for being here. I think I saw a lot of you on your way in, and it really means a lot to Michelle and I and to the students to have your support, and we are so thrilled to have you. So I've been instructed to hold the floor for 15 minutes. So I think it'll be about 7 minutes autobiographical and 7 minutes curriculum, so hopefully you can bear with me for the first portion. So I just want to give you a little bit of background about who I am, what I am about, and why I'm teaching. So my background is actually in economics and real estate investing. I am a very proud graduate of Mills College in Oakland. After Mills, I did a master's in real estate, and I got really tired of not being able to call myself an investor. So I linked up with a family friend who said, hey, I will fund you renovating a house, and let's do it. So I said, okay, that sounds really amazing. I will do it. I was living in Montreal at the time, so I came back to California. Very long story short, I restored a 100-year-old house, mostly by myself, and I felt really empowered by that experience. I had to figure out how to use power tools. It was in a pretty rural area, so I just had to be, kind of scrappy. And at the end of that project, I thought, wow, if I could do all of this, motioning to the house, what other hard things could I do? And so one of the things that came to mind was learning how to code, having grown up in the Bay Area and being surrounded by tech all the time. So that was sort of this little seed that was in my mind. Coincidentally, my partner at the time needed to make a job transition and was interviewing at a company in Mountain View. And she dropped me off at a cafe so I could wait for her to do the interview. And I decided, this was Red Rock Cafe in Mountain View, which is like a very techie place. And I was surrounded by all of these men with their Mac laptops open, and they were clearly writing code. And I basically said to myself, gosh darn it, I'm going to figure out how to do this. So I opened up my own laptop and I started a Khan Academy course. And by the time my partner picked me up, I had drawn a little plate with scrambled eggs and toast and bacon on it. And I decided that that's what I was going to keep doing. So she ended up getting the job. We had to commute in together because I wasn't working at the time. And I would sit in the Mountain View Library for 8 hours every day practicing Python. And I was practicing Python because I wanted to get into Hackbright, which is where Michelle went. I got in, but I couldn't afford it. So I had to defer, and I tried getting the money from my grandfather, who worked at Apple when I was growing up, but he basically wouldn't give me the money because they weren't going to teach us C. True story. So I did eventually pull together the money thanks to my parents, who gave me a loan. And Hackbright was the most incredible educational experience I've ever had. I was surrounded by 35 other women who really wanted to be there. I just felt like my brain was exploding every day, and I wanted, in the back of my mind, to be able to keep giving that back to people. So after Hackbright, I taught for a summer with Girls Who Code. And I actually took that job as a way to kind of take a break from job hunting for software engineering jobs, which it was a very difficult time for me. But I loved teaching, and I was really surprised by how much that I loved it. And I remember at the end of our program that summer, I remember thinking to myself, that felt really good. I want to keep doing that. And a lot of stuff happened in between. I eventually talked my partner Tammy into starting a podcast with me for women in tech, and that is how I finally had a full conversation with Michelle. She kindly agreed to be our second guest. And so at that point, I learned all about Techtonica and what her mission was, and signed up for the email list. Thought that was going to be pretty much it. So fast forward a few more months, maybe like a month and a half ago, Michelle had sent out an email saying, "We need a full-time instructor." And I emailed her back right away and said, "I'm really interested in this job. I promise by tomorrow night you will have my resume and my cover letter." And I actually never asked you what your thought was, but she probably was just humoring me. So about a week after that, she invited me to teach a sample lesson at the office in Oakland. And it was about Git conflicts, or resolving Git conflicts. And just the way the students interacted with each other, I was really impressed by that. I remember at one point, Tonka's computer was freaking out about something, and I felt like I should move on, but she was still having this problem over here, and so I said to Tonka, "Just follow along with Gabby, who's sitting next to you," or I think it was Gabby, I can't remember. And the rest of the class said, "No, it's okay. You can just take a few minutes and help her sort out her problem. We don't want her to fall behind." And that really touched me. And I thought, wow, these would be some pretty cool people to spend the next 6 months with. So I promised you only 7 minutes of autobiography, so I'm passing through some things. So I will now sort of segue into what we're doing. And so Michelle hired me, and I was very, very happy about it. And essentially what my job is now is I create and deliver lectures based on the lab exercises that we're doing on Free Code Camp. So pretty much for every topic that a lab exists for, I create slides, which may or may not include very awesome GIFs, and generally try to make the material more appealing. I'm responsible for explaining technical topics in a way that makes it possible for people of any educational background to understand. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and I really live for those light bulb moments. So in our first month of full-time classes, which will be tomorrow, is the end of week 4, I would like to read you a short but impressive list of all the things we've covered. This is all in JavaScript. Strings, numbers, arrays, booleans, objects, variables, functions, for loops, while loops, if-else statements, switch statements, comparisons, pushing to GitHub, version control with Git, text editing in Sublime, querying Stack Overflow, pair programming, and we have even done some introductory level coding challenges. On top of this, the students now have pretty fleshed out LinkedIn profiles, which we worked on before the conference. They have practiced handshakes and handing out business cards. They are learning to communicate in a small team environment. And lots of other things. So some of the highlights for me as an instructor are getting to see the students interact with what I call people from the wild. So people who are actually out in the industry doing this kind of work. And I get a lot of satisfaction when I can just completely turn the room over to a visitor and just see the students completely enraptured with their story and with the answers that they're getting to their questions. And it's just a good reminder for me that learning happens in a lot of different forms and that I don't have to be at the front of the class to know that they're getting something out of the program. So that's been very satisfying to see as well. So I wanted to wrap up with kind of 3 of my most important philosophies or ways of thinking that I try to incorporate in my teaching. The first one is that attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. That came from a poster on my 8th grade English class wall. But I really do believe it, and I think it's especially important with software engineering because you are learning something that's really hard. Your job depends on this. It's stressful being a full-time student as an adult, but I think the attitude really is important. If you can approach it with an attitude of curiosity rather than judgment, or with gratitude rather than lack, that's what I tried to do, and I found that it was helpful for me. The second one, I really truly believe that you can learn anything you want to learn. That comes from Khan Academy, whose motto is "You can learn anything." Once I adopted that mindset that if I could figure out how to use power tools, I could figure out how to code a breakfast plate in JavaScript, that really opened up doors for me. And the last thing is, yes, you can learn anything you want, but you have to be kind and patient and gentle with yourself when you're learning new things, because it doesn't do any good to make yourself frustrated about what you don't know yet when you're working so hard to get there. So that's all I have. That was 20 minutes, I think. So thank you again for being here. Thanks for letting me tell you a little bit about myself. I hope that you'll stick around and talk to as many students as you can and see what their experience has been like. Thanks.
Okay, I just wanted to say how excited and proud I was when the students could already fix Git conflicts within 12 hours of starting. That was so exciting. And now it's really fun to watch Erin do the teaching, and she's doing a great job. Also, I didn't know that story about the power tools, and I totally relate, because when I did the I Look Like an Engineer ad campaign, at the end of it, I was like, oh, that was really, really hard. I can do hard things. I'm going to do Techtonica. Yeah, so great. Now we have Ditto. Ditto, you're up.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Ditto. I go by Ditto. It's not my real name. Most parents wouldn't name their child after either a copy or now a Pokemon. But that's what everyone calls me, and I encourage you to do the same. So I am a software development manager at Redfin. Redfin, for anyone who's not familiar, is a technology-powered real estate brokerage. So that means as a company, our mission is to help people buy and sell homes. As an engineering manager on the Redfin engineering side, our job is both to build tools for those customers who are trying to buy and sell or thinking about it, perhaps, but actually also for the real estate agents who are our employees. And that's one of the things that I think, having now worked there for almost 5 years, makes the company special, is that we're trying to not just say, oh, it's a very consumer-facing product. We're also trying to solve some very difficult operational challenges. There's the ads that say that real estate is different in every market, so you should talk to a realtor. That's true. Realtors have made the market different in every market, so you do have to talk to one. And we're trying to actually change that and improve the industry to make real estate better for everyone. And I think that speaks to why we're really pleased to be partnering with Techtonica. So if we're going to improve real estate for everyone, right now we're in the United States, we have kind of service that covers about 70% of the US population. But everyone means that we can't, like the people who are building those products need to look like the customers that we want to serve. We need to have diverse perspectives in our office, in our planning meetings, as we examine, what is the right way to approach this problem. And so we, like many other technology companies, are searching for ways to bring those perspectives into our company. And so I was really pleased to come across Techtonica as a way to try and do that. So the team that I'm on in particular is also pretty excited about Techtonica. So the team that I work on is called the Tour Automation team. Basically, that title doesn't actually tell you that much, but we're trying to make it easier for people to get into homes when they're thinking about buying them. And today, the team is actually, the engineers on the team are 5 women and 2 men. And many of us went through a traditional computer science program, but not everyone. I, for example, did an undergrad in philosophy before figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. I also took some time off from school and all of that. And I just recognized that not everyone comes to the industry from the same place. And we have a few other people on our team who are like that. And we really value those different backgrounds. We value those different perspectives on our team. We're going to be hosting the students in a couple of weeks in our office. And when I mentioned like, oh, we're going to bring them in, maybe we could do like a tech talk or something. What should we talk about with the students? It wasn't just one person who's passionate about it who's like, oh, I have this idea. Like there was a hearty debate around, well, we could talk about this. We could talk about, you know, these things in our business logic. We could show them real code. Would that be too much? Like we don't want to scare anybody. The team is invested, and it's something that I'm proud of. But it's also something where I'm so happy that we have the opportunity to work with you all and to put that energy into a productive outlet. So I'm really pleased with all of that. On a personal note, I think one of the things that's impressed me so much about Techtonica is, honestly, it's like Michelle. Michelle is putting this together very much through force of will, it seems sometimes. But so I went to the Tech Inclusion Conference, which was here in 2015, so October of 2015. And I, as someone who, at least in many of the categories, represents the kind of overrepresented groups, if you will, I finally stood up and asked a question of one of the panels and said, basically, how do I help other than trying to stay out of the way? And I got some really, really impactful advice, and this was a panel of people who were trying to start companies. It was entrepreneurs of color. And their point was that I may not know it, but I have access to a network that they may not have. I attended Stanford University. I have classmates who work at venture capital companies. And even if I don't feel comfortable addressing them, I don't have an idea, I don't know if I want to be an entrepreneur, I can introduce people. I can open that network to others. And I don't know if I've lived up to that challenge personally, but I do believe that Michelle has with Techtonica. She has leveraged the networks that she has to really try and put something together. And so I think we should all just take a moment to celebrate, because that's amazing. All right. One last note, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that in addition to looking forward to bringing on one of the students later this year, Redfin is also hiring for other positions, so you can check out our website. I have a recruiter in the audience who would be mad at me if I didn't say that. Thank you.
Oh, that was so great. Thank you. We're very excited to work with you as well. Okay, so here is our class of 2017. Woohoo! I guess we should check first. Is Tonka? Yes. All right. Let's see if we can have Tonka kick it off.
Hey Tonka, you're muted right now. Just heads up. You are still muted, Tonka, but there should be a button or somewhere on your interface where you can click to unmute yourself. Or you can just type your message, that works too. Still muted.
Yeah. All right. I will chat with her on Slack and see if we can figure that out. Whatever. Uh, Still nothing. Okay. Well, let's just do alphabetically. So Chelsea gets to start. And hopefully we can figure this out. Here's Chelsea.
Hi everyone, I just want to thank everyone for coming out. So we were asked to say a few words and I guess what our favorite thing that we're currently learning. And I would say that my favorite thing right now is just understanding JavaScript and how it works. And I think it's just really fascinating how programming, or just the logic of it, because as humans we don't think the way that computers are made to compute. So I thought that was really interesting, and we just did an algorithm this past week, and my mind just like blew up. I'm like, whoa, this is amazing! So I can't wait to learn more. So, thank you. Diana?
Okay, I might be. Can you actually hear me? Okay, great. Well, first of all, thank you so much to everyone who came out with you virtually. And I know classmates are having a great opportunity to with you and tell you about their experiences in the program. So I don't think that mine are vastly different, but just super excited. Look forward to actually getting over to Redfin and meeting some of the rest of you in person. The best thing that I've learned so far, I think what I've really enjoyed is really in JavaScript, just looking at a lot of the math really has been the part that's been really fun, like things like that. So that's what's been really fun for me. But it's exciting, and all of it is like, wow. And I think Erin can tell you that I had a few aha moments where I realized that actually, if you say some of this stuff out loud, then it actually sinks in better. So that's been fun for me. But like I said, really looking forward to actually meeting you in person. Thank you for coming. And for those of you who haven't signed up to support us yet, we really would appreciate and are looking forward to your support. Thank you.
Figuring things out. That is the fabulous part about being a part of this group and this curriculum.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm Gabby. And the thing that I love the most so far is that we have been very welcome everywhere we've gone to, like the conference yesterday. The people at the Armory are super amazing. Like, I get to ask them all these questions all the time. And I just love to see that real side of their, of that whole thing, and like, just ask them questions like, what do you do if this happens and stuff? And they're very nice, which is kind of scary, but I mean, I didn't expect it. I wasn't sure what to expect, so yeah. So yeah, the place is amazing. The people are super welcoming, and yeah, I'm so happy about my team, and we're getting through this together, so yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mary Beth McClendon, and thank you so much for coming tonight. Yeah, I'm just thrilled to be part of this program. I guess I just want to echo something Gabby just said about, our cohort. It's really wonderful to be in the classroom with these great folks, like going on this really exciting and, sometimes stressful, but just a really exciting journey together. It's wonderful to see the network of people that are supporting us. I think we all, agree that it was like we're all so passionate about this idea. Like, we're excited to, be people who will be supporting like the next class. Just this idea of helping the tech sector to grow and change and, in new ways. It's really going to strengthen the businesses and provide a great income for us and other folks who are going to join the program. So and then learning, everything that we're learning is really wonderful. Erin's doing such a fantastic job teaching us. We're so grateful that she joined the group. And thank you, everybody.
Hello, everyone. I am Nafis. Hi, Erin. My favorite part about the program so far is the people that I've encountered throughout this journey. I came into this program not knowing anything whatsoever, and I felt a little scared because I didn't think I would be welcomed, but I was so wrong. I was welcomed by the team, by everyone around, by anyone who visited us, everywhere we went to visit. So that felt really good. It made me feel like I belonged somewhere, and that's something I discovered throughout this journey. I found something I wanted to do. A little late, but it's okay. I discovered it. So I guess I'm ending this. I want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting Techtonica. This is just a quarter of anyone. When the program continues, it's the quarter of people you're going to help in the future. You're providing everyone the ability to help in the future as well. And we had a visitor today who actually left me thinking that in the future, a teaching position would be amazing, but just being able to mentor someone who is from a low-income background, that they see that, it's totally possible, that I was on that end at some point, and now I'm going to be in the front helping you follow this journey as well. And it's never too late to start. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Great. So now how you can help. People have been asking me this, so now I'm going to talk about it. We need companies to sponsor, as I mentioned before. I did not go over all the details of what companies get in exchange for sponsoring. I think probably the coolest part is that we provide some diversity and inclusion training to the team where the student will be placed. And that is definitely for both sides. We want the team to know what kind of socioeconomic differences they'll run into, and then also that our students will get into tech and not run away screaming. So I've seen people do that. I don't want that happening. Anyway, we always need people to spread the word. We are active on social media, and I thought I had my email address on here, but I do not. It's michelleglauser@techtonica.org, and if you want me to add you to our newsletter, let me know. And then wait, what is that space thing? That's old. And then the sign up to volunteer. We love volunteers. We've had so many great people sign up, and we just launched a Google Doc where people can choose times to come visit the class and help answer questions. So Erin usually does the lecture stuff in the morning, and then in the afternoons, we can have people come in and answer questions as they work on the things they just learned. Yeah. So, there it is. There's my email address. Great. So thank you all so much for coming. We really, really appreciate it. And it's going to be an amazing next 5.5-ish months. Yay, Techtonica!